Else?
What if you receive a loving answer and it's not God, it's a loving spirit?
Well, it's still okay to follow, isn't it? Yeah, because it's loving.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't know either way whether it's God or a spirit, if you can measure that it's in harmony with love, in harmony with truth, in harmony with you being humble, then it's most likely going to be correct, and maybe you just need to ask more questions, yeah, before you make a decision about it. But at least you would be on the right track.
Yeah.
See, if it's blatantly unloving, then you know you're instantly on the wrong track. And this is where people who are quite psychotic are in a place that's not good, because what happens is that psychosis, a lot of it is caused by spirit influence. And so what happens is these spirits are telling the people, do this, do that, you know, what's called schizophrenia and other things like that. Do this, do that. And a lot of things of what the spirits tell them to do is really bad for themselves or bad for others, right? And it's really obvious, but a lot of the spirits claim they're God telling them to do it. You see? And if the person on earth sort of believes, I've got a special relationship with God and God's telling me to kill you, that's pretty bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and it's pretty obvious that because it's impinging another person's free will, in other words, restricting another person's free will, they're not making a choice. Even if restricting another person's free will, I'm obviously, by restricting your will, I'm out of harmony with God's love. So it's quite obvious that it's not loving, but unfortunately to the people who have this kind of psychosis, it's not obvious, but it should be obvious to everybody else, you know. And that's why most people who claim to be Jesus are in mental asylums, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you can see they are choosing to do unloving things to lots of people, including themselves frequently, and that's why they're there. And that's why I'm not there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know, I've been assessed by doctors, actually. I was forced into an assessment at one point by my mother, you know, to have an assessment by a psychologist and a doctor. And they found me far too logical to be to be crazy and therefore put in an institution. But you can see why people are, yeah, because they're often being told to do unloving things and they go ahead and do them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, you've got to remember, obviously, if it's God, it's going to have love in it. You know, if that's one of God's primary qualities, then it has to have love in it. And that's the way I've measured pretty much everything I've heard from God, just by measuring the love in it, the truth in it. Whether it was forcing me into a state of more humility, I always thought that was a good indication that it was also loving. And so that helped me a lot to trust it. And once you start trusting it right firmly, it's like there's so much scope.